right, let's talk about ball bridges. We have a lot of different ways that we can do this. We have both kind of the traditional ball bridge as well as a reverse version. Let's talk about the regular ones first. We want to be using a pretty good sized ball. With this first version, we're going to have our feet up on here. Just like in a traditional bridge, we're going to have the ball close up to our knees, but with our heels still supported a little bit. We want to engage our abdominal muscles, and then we're going to squeeze our glute muscles to help lift our hips up off of the floor into a straight line between our knees and our shoulders. Hold for a few seconds and lower down, relaxing those muscles in the glutes on the way down, still maintaining a nice stable core and engaged abdomen. So that is just our traditional ball bridge. You can have arms on the floor for balance. To make it a little bit harder, you can do something like lifting your arms straight up towards the ceiling. To add a hamstring component to this and get it a little less in our glutes, we can come out to a straighter leg and come up with it more underneath our ankle. So we'll feel more of the entire back of the leg and hip engaged during that motion. To even kick it up a further notch for our hamstrings, when we're up into that sort of plank position, we can then bend our knees, bringing our knees towards our chest and then coming back out. So that will really give you a great hamstring workout. Those are some variations for traditional bridges. Now, let's talk about reverse bridges. Instead of having our back on the floor and feet up on the ball, it's going to be the opposite of this. For the reverse bridge, I'm going to start sitting on the ball and roll out until it's under my upper back and supporting my head. I still want to engage abdominals, squeeze glutes. Here, I'm going to let myself kind of start low, almost like I'm about to sit on the floor, but not quite that low. And then squeezing my hips, come up until I'm essentially a flat line between knees and shoulders here again. This really gets some nice focus into the glutes. It also makes you work your core a little bit differently since now you're on an unstable surface with your trunk. We can also come up into this position and then try doing marches. Let's see how I do on that today. You can either keep hips a little lower to do that, especially if you have some limited range in your hips, or you can come into that full plank position with the hip and try doing a lift there. Now with any of these, specifically in this reverse position, it's going to be a bit easier if our feet are wider apart. If we come in more narrow, we have to fight balance a lot more. So it's going to challenge the core in particular. With any of these, we can also go to a 1 foot version. So I can just push off of 1 foot here and bring the other leg up. That'll really get glutes a bit more as well. So that gives you some options of how we can incorporate an exercise ball into some different bridge variations.